the Weymouth North Band with the national anthem here at Legion Field as the Maroons and the Presidents getting ready to square off in what should be a very interesting game as two longtime rivals about set to square off. Before the game, I talked to Weymouth North football coach Joe Kelly. I asked him if the rivalry still remains.
Yeah, I think that's a maroon and gold against the blue and white. That's years and years. It's a little different, obviously, because they're in a different league now than we are, but maybe next year when they come into the Old Colony League, it'll get back to where it used to be.
How about the season so far? 6 weeks into the season, you have the best record the school's had after this point. Do you keep pushing on that fact that you can even accomplish so much more?
Oh yeah, we're not really looking at records. We look at Saturday or Friday night. After Friday night, we have Quincy coming in. That's the only thing that matters. That if we win, then we look at the numbers of wins we have. But right now, it's only a matter of can we beat Quincy.
What will it take to beat the Presidents?
A good effort. Quincy's, I think, a very, very good football team. I think they're in the category of Bridgewater Raynham, so I think we play at our best, we can beat them.
And looking at the past few weeks, the offense seems to be clicking between passing and running. Is everything just seemingly coming into gear as far as this team goes?
Yeah, I think it is, Mark. I think we, at the beginning of the year, we thought we were strictly a run-and-shoot team, and we found out that we had a lot of problems in putting that in, so we've modified it, and we're now doing the things that the quarterback can do well. He runs the ball very well. He throws the ball very well, and we've taken a lot of pressure off of a lot of motion. We've gone back to kind of being a basic team with maybe 6 or 7 things we can do well, and we're just trying to do those things very well.
And about set to start here at Legion Field. As you look at Tim Stevenson on your screen, as Stevenson will be kicking off for the Maroons. And for the Presidents,
Stevenson ready to
as they will be sending back Steve O'Donoghue and Jason Anderson to receive the kick. A glorious evening at Legion Field. You would have thought that the weather was more for an August night. As Stevenson gets us underway. O'Donoghue gets away from Dede, but can't get away from the rest of the Maroon tacklers as he is struck at about the 11. And that is where the Presidents will start on offense. And if you were with us for the other game between Weymouth South and Quincy, you know that the Presidents have a fine running back in Mark Bogan. He will be the focus back here in this game. Bogan, number 44, and he lines up as the left halfback. Mike Flavin takes over at quarterback. Bogan toss pitch, Jason Capello there to stop him. And Capello joined by Lou Henriksen and Darren Gladstone as the Maroon defense, which has been very, very strong during the season. And the Maroon defense which stopped Bogan for no gain on first down, 2nd and 10. Flavin just firing it deep. Knocked down by Darren Gladstone. As Gladstone covered Chris Fay very tightly, and Darren, who possesses great speed, hustled back, knocked the football down. It will be 3rd down for the Presidents, and they need 10.
On the 14-yard line.
And the Maroons looking to bottle the Presidents up and set up the punting situation. And they should get good field position if they stop the Presidents here. Bogan in motion. Quick pass over the middle to Jim Monroe. Jason Capello, Eddie Norton are there on the coverage. But Flavin's pass was low. and it will be a punting situation, and that means Mark Bogan kicking to either Rich Mraz or Timmy Stevenson. And Bogan rides out a line drive kick. Stevenson, Mraz on the reverse. Rich, good return to the President 40-yard line as Mraz was dropped by Rich Lallis and Mike Tempestra. But the Maroons will have it in Quincy territory to start their first possession. Quarterback Tim Stevenson, who has been out part of the week as far as practices do go, as Stevenson hurting his back, but Timmy able to start tonight's game. And he gives to Mraz. Rich turning the corner, goes head on with Quincy's Billy Reardon, where he is dropped at the 34 after a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 for the Maroons as the Quincy defense, which, if you saw earlier on Dimension 36, posted the shutout against Weymouth South with a great performance, allowing the Wildcats very little.
7 yards on the play, 2nd and 3.
Chuck Montorio slices off about 2 yards.
Montorio on the carry.
Jim Monroe bottled the play up and knocked down Chuck Montorio after the 2 yards, 3rd and 2.
3rd and about 2.
You cannot get over how good this evening really is.
Ball's on the 32-yard line.
Temperature in the high 50s. Henriksen gets the first down, crossing the 30 to the 29.
Henderson on the
And he is knocked down
the first down
at the 29 by number 41. Ali Sleeman
made the tackle.
in on the stop. And the Maroons have gone basically the ground to start. Option, Mraz turning the corner. 20, Rich with the speed, he possesses, almost broke it.
Mraz run out of bounds by
As Mraz ran out by Chris Fay, but Rich gets it to the 12-yard line and a first down.
Ball is on the 12-yard line.
And the Maroons
1st and 10.
just come out running the football in their first 4 plays and been very, very successful. As the first quarter, just a little over 2 minutes and 30 seconds old. Chuck Montorio scissors her way inside the 10 to the 9.
Couple of yards.
'78,
Made the tackle.
David Johnson in on the stop as Montorio and the Maroons need 7 for a first down, 9 for a touchdown. And the Maroons is trying to
Just inside
shift the
10-yard
running,
line.
left and right, right and left. Stevenson, check it.
Mraz on the
Stevenson
carry.
on a good fake, and Mraz gets it to the 8. As Billy Reardon in on the stop, and Mraz gains 1, 3rd down,
Made the tackle.
and Weymouth North
Up a 3rd down.
at the Quincy
3rd and 6.
8-yard line, needing 6 for the first down, 8 for the touchdown. Stevenson, first pass, over the middle, touchdown, Chuck Montorio. Chuck Montorio just slipped out of the backfield, and Timmy Stevenson found them over the middle, and the Maroons are on top. It is Weymouth North 6-0 as they drive 40 for the touchdown, and Tim Stevenson will try to add the 7th point. Stevenson's 13th consecutive point after kick gives the Maroons an early 7-0 lead. Weymouth North needed 7 plays to go the 40 yards for the touchdown as Stevenson, the Chuck Montorio,
Walker and O'Donoghue back deep to receive the
and the
kickoff.
two who teamed up in the first week of the season on a touchdown pass combined here
And we're ready to go.
as Timmy. Only one pass in that drive. All the rest were running plays. As kicking it upfield to about the 32-yard line is Chris Walker. As Walker gets buried on the play at the 32. So the Presidents start there.
Terry on the run back.
And Quincy, which unable to move the football their first possession, gets the football a little better field position this time
Yard line.
as the Presidents threw 2 passes, ran 1 play with Mark Bogan. And when Bogan has run the ball quite well, Quincy's had the great success. Counter play, bottled up by Alex Provost, fumble football. Weymouth North will have it.
They're lost on the play. And Weymouth recovers the fumble.
Sean Small or John Torleone in on the fumble recovery, but on the counter play with Lou Pagnani, Weymouth North gets the big defensive play from Alex Provost, forcing the fumble, and the Maroons at the President 31 with an opportunity to increase a 7-0 lead. Stevenson going deep and overthrows Danny Lindblom.
That goes incomplete to Lindblom.
Unknown whether Timmy wanted to go to the corner of the end zone or straight down the middle of the field with a pass, go to the post pattern. But it's an incompletion, 2nd down. Miraz turns the corner to about the 25.
Rise on the carry.
And Rich stopped by Jimmy Monroe, along with John O'Connor.
John O'Connor.
But a marker apparently down in the play on Weymouth North.
On the play.
Illegal procedure on the Maroons will nullify the run by Miraz.
Against Weymouth.
Second down for Weymouth North and 15 to go for the Maroons. Just on the way, 7-0 Weymouth North, 5:39 to go first period here on Dimension 36. Coverage of high school football. The Maroons going in on a 40-yard drive as the special teams set the tempo, bottling Quincy up, and then the Maroon offense went to work. Stevenson deep over the middle to Lindblom.
Play. The pass is complete to
To
Lindblom.
the 19, to the 24, checked that, but a marker down.
But we have a flag on the play.
And there is a marker down in the play, and it's pointed against Weymouth North again. Backfield in motion on the Maroons. So the Maroons have just killed themselves in the last 2 plays.
Out of the Weymouth team.
21 yards of offense wiped out on penalties.
5 more yards.
And it will be 2nd down and 20 for Weymouth North. Stevenson. Deep, wide open. Miraz, touchdown.
Miraz on the reception for the touchdown, a 42-yard.
Stevenson waited until he got away from the initial pressure, and then Timmy just fired it deep. And Rich Miraz was so wide open, he could have had a sandwich Touchdown, Weymouth North, and they, with 5:01 to go, can increase the lead as Tim Stevenson for the point after kick. Mraz and Stevenson enable the Maroons to increase the lead to 14-0. Weymouth North cashes in on the fumble recovery, and they do it with a 42-yard pass. Though the drive will say about 32 yards in just 2 plays. An incomplete pass, and then the long pass play, and as Director Dale Ketchum points out, 2 penalties in between. And Tim Stevenson, the kickoff again, the 3rd time here in the opening quarter for the Maroon senior. And the bouncing kick. O'Donoghue gets away from Gladstone, but he cannot get away from Strazzeri and Small. As Keith Strazzeri in on the stop, as you look at defensive coordinator Ross Tator of Weymouth North. He's going to be a happy individual right now the way his team has started. 4:55 to go, opening period, and the Maroons have come out flying. As Bogan, the deep back in the eye, goes off in motion. O'Donoghue gets it up to about the 25, where Sean Small brings him down, along with Matt Deedy. And a 5-yard gain for O'Donoghue, which is the biggest gain so far in the first quarter for the Presidents. Deep back in the eye, Bogan gets about 1, maybe 2. Provost, Deedy in on the stop. 3rd and 3 for the Presidents. As the Maroons with a 14-0 lead. If you just tune this on, Dimension 36. 2 touchdown passes by Tim Stevenson. One to Chuck Montorio, and the other touchdown pass was to Rich Mraz. Pitch out, Bogan. Darren Gladstone came up and made a fine play, and then Eddie Norton and Chris Ferrara finish him off. But Darren Gladstone was the story of that play, as Darren came up from a safety position and popped Mark Bogan, slowed him down, and then Norton and Ferrara finish him off. And the play loses 1. Mark Bogan, or will not be punting. It will be just getting it away to Stevenson, who dances his way to the 47 of Quincy as Steve McInnes's punt was fielded by Stevenson. He waited for a second, then went after the football. And the Maroons once again find field position. All 3 possessions for the Maroons that began in Quincy territory.
On the 47-yard line of Quincy.
And if you cash in on them, it makes life very easy. Mraz gets a good block, turning the corner. Rich, 30, Mraz, bumped out of bounds by Bogan at the 10-yard line. Marker down, back at the 30, however. And this run by Rich Mraz could be cut in half. In fact, cut completely. Clipping Weymouth North.
You have a flag on the play, and it's against Weymouth.
And the Maroons once again get a good gain, and then they shoot themselves in the foot.
A clipping penalty called against Weymouth will nullify that 32-yard.
But an excellent block in the backfield by, I believe, Matt Deedy. Sprung Rich Mraz, and it almost sprung him for the distance. So it will be 1st and 8. And Stevenson the throw. Stevenson just gets rid of it. Incomplete.
Incomplete.
Maroons and Stevenson. Plenty of time. Now running out of it. Timmy will run with the football and then cover up, and it'll be dropped at the 46. And it'll be a loss of 1 for Stevenson.
To the line of scrimmage. Bring up the third.
And it will be 3rd down and 9 for Weymouth North. It's Kaufman in on the stop of Stevenson. Weymouth North 14-0. As you look at the Quincy defense, which has been hit for 2 Tim Stevenson touchdown passes so far. Stevenson, deep over the middle. Danny Lindblom gets wiped out on the play by Jim Monroe and Bill Reardon, and nothing is called as Danny just got crunched by the 2. And the Maroon coaching staff that are upstairs on my left also can't believe it that there was no flag on the play as Danny Lindblom gets sandwiched. The ball wasn't even there, and Danny was sandwiched on the play. Stevenson the punt. And the clipping penalty becomes big as Bogan and O'Donoghue await the kick. And Timmy will try to pin Quincy in. The 20, and Timmy does not get the good roll as it's touchdown at the 18, Danny Daly. And Jimmy Francis, who snaps on special teams. We're both down there with 2:05 to go here in the opening period. As Weymouth North and Quincy, 2 longtime rivals. Here it go, Weymouth North 22-14 over Quincy at Veterans Stadium. The Maroons jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Quincy came back. The Maroons had that 10-minute drive. And right now, Mike Flavin is going to talk about things with head coach Jack Raymer. With 2:05 left in the opening quarter, 14-0 the Maroons. 1st and 10 for the Presidents as they will have the football at their own 19. Flavin with a marker down, completes it to Chris Walker. Walker gets away for just a moment and is brought down at about the 29 by Rich Mraz. And let's see what the marker is all about.
Gladstone made the tackle.
Offsides, Weymouth North decline.
Against Weymouth, which Quincy refuses.
And the Presidents will take the play. 1st down. As the Maroons hit with another flag. I believe they're 4th here in the 1st period. Quincy without a penalty so far. Die play, Bogan. Nowhere on 1st down. Bogan bottled up. Matt Deedy.
Bogan on the carry.
Led a group of Maroons in on the tackle. And Sean Small also helping out. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
On the play. Bring up a 2nd down.
But a year ago, the Maroons used to just beat up football to beat Quincy. They went on that 10-minute drive and kept the ball out of the Quincy quarterback, senior quarterback, Chris Noble's hands. Flavin, Deedy with a, or check it, John Tortolione with a good play.
Mike Flavin on the keeper.
During the season,
Gladstone.
it's been the type of play that Matt Dede has made, but John Tortolione, the other defensive tackle, came slicing through and just made the play very nicely as he just spun by his block and grabbed Flavin. 3rd and 10. Flavin. Deep, and Chris Fay should have had it and would have had a lot of yardage on the play. Jason Capello in on the coverage, but Chris Fay was wide open. And Flavin delivered the football very nicely. And the Presidents will punt again. Steve McInnes, the punt. And he's very close to the line of scrimmage, but still gets off a good kick. Mraz waiting for the wall to form. Rich.
Mirage on the carry.
Gets it to the 42, and markers go down all over the place.
On the play.
And let's see what the marker is on. The Maroons could get some good field position added to it. With a personal foul, let's find out if it's just that. Personal foul, Quincy. And Weymouth North
Foul against Quincy.
will get it at the 27 of the Presidents with an opportunity to add to the lead with 15 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Mraz banging off a few tackles, drags Steve O'Donoghue for about 2, and along with Ali Lyman, but a legal procedure, Weymouth North will wipe out the Mraz run.
Made the initial hit. Refused to let
And the
go.
Maroons will be pushed back 5 yards. And let's see if the Presidents accept they do.
Legal procedure, Weymouth.
And Coach Joe Kelly has got to be frustrated by the amount of penalties so far on his team, as the quarter will come to an end. The Maroons, 2 touchdown passes by Tim Stevenson have given them a 14-0 lead after 1. And the Maroons will have the football when we begin the second period at the President 32 with that lead.
Saturday, November the 8th.
The Company Theatre opens its holiday season with A Christmas Carol, live on stage against a background of music and dance in Dickens' London.
God bless us, everyone.
Ebenezer! Humbug! For tickets, call 337-1423.
And the second period about to start here at Legion Field with Weymouth North leading Quincy 14-0. And the Maroons looking to add to the lead with a 1st and 15 from the 32. And another marker down as Mraz on the pitch. Rich turns the corner, Mraz tight ropes.
Mirage on the run back, but he stepped out of bounds.
And he steps out of bounds at, let's say, the 16.
15-yard line.
Check it, no flag. But Mraz gets the first down. It looked like a flag had been thrown, but, and there have been plenty of them so far. But Mraz needed 15 for first down. He got 16.
Stevenson
Stevenson
Stevenson on the keep.
Was bottled up from the beginning, and Timmy gets dropped.
Goes to about the 15-yard line. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
As the President defense just went down the line, read the play very nicely. Graham Sheffrey led a group of President tacklers that had shots at Stevenson. Sheffrey was the one who dropped Stevenson after about a yard gain. Pitch back, Strazzeri. Keith cuts it back. Touchdown!
We have a flag on the
And a marker down, back at the 10.
right at the 10-yard line.
Clipping Weymouth North. And I don't know, we'd have to look at that play again. Strazzeri got the great block and turned it upfield, but was there a clip or not? And the Maroons are just upset about the call. They cannot believe that call. And Coach Joe Kelly, off-camera view, is going after the lineman who made the call, as the linesman claims that that the block for Strazzeri, and I believe it was by Rich Moroz, was not a good one. And the Maroons don't believe that they had a touchdown call back. 14-0, 9 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. The Maroons sideline just saw a touchdown negated as they look at their team with a first down play. Stevenson, flip out, Moroz behind Rich, as Rich had to turn back for the football, as Bill Reardon on the coverage, but Moroz had the better angle to the football, and it'll be 3rd and 19 for the Maroons. As the Maroons get the touchdown negated. Third and 19, movement all over the place. And John Serafini looks back at Joe Baker and says, "What are you doing?" Serafini kept his cool. Illegal procedure, Weymouth North.
Illegal procedure call against Weymouth North.
This is getting a little ridiculous. I hate to be honest about, I have to be honest about this, because I don't know what the penalty count is. I believe it's 8-1 as far as the penalty count goes in this game. That's absolutely absurd. And Danny Daly makes it 9-1. That's a legit call. But Serafini and Baker have been pushing each other at the last two illegal procedures. As now it gets sloppy.
Illegal procedure call against Weymouth North.
And for the Maroons, 3rd down. And almost from Hingham to Quincy for the first down, 29 yards. But after a while, I mean, the difference in penalties, it's absolutely crazy. Stevenson, plenty of time. Almost caught by Rich Moroz, almost intercepted by Steve O'Donoghue as Moroz double-teamed, but on the deflection, Rich had his hands on the football, and then O'Donoghue put his hands out on the deflection, almost hit it. And the Maroons on this drive will remember it. They lost the touchdown. As they have 4th and 29. It's a drive that is going to be frustrating, and they'll go for it. Mraz, option. Touchdown, Danny Lindblom. No flags. 4th and 29, and Coach Joe Kelly and the Maroons decide to go for it, and they scorch Quincy on a well-designed play. As Danny Lindblom was behind everybody, and Rich Mraz with another touchdown pass. His second of the season, and both to Danny Lindblom. As Mraz 4 for 5 on the option play, and Stevenson has his streak of 14 extra points broken as he shanks one. But with 8:39 to go in the first half, the Maroons increase the lead to 20-0. Rich Mraz with his second touchdown pass on the halfback option to Danny Lindblom, executed perfectly. And the Maroons 20-0 with the lead. It's a 5-play drive, but it seemed like a lot more with all the penalties. Despite the penalties, the Maroons are just controlling matters. And Stevenson with a good high kick. Walker looking to turn the corner, and Darren Gladstone prevents Walker from doing that.
Walker on the run back.
As Walker brought down by Gladstone and Daly at the 21. And the Presidents, primarily a running football team with Mark Bogan as their chief weapon, maybe have to be put in dry dock for the remainder. Down 20-0. The Presidents will have to air the football out some.
The ball in play on their own 21-yard line. We have 8.5 minutes left in the period.
As the Maroons have gone to the airways and have just made life miserable for the Presidents so far. Flavin option pitch, it's Bogan. Mark Bogan turning the corner nicely. Rich Mraz trips him up at the ankles as Bogan goes out of his shoe at the 29-yard line. 9 for Bogan. Second down is Bogan getting his footwear fixed. It has been a long first half so far because of the penalties. And a reminder, at halftime, Weymouth South, Plymouth highlights as the Wildcats playing the Blue Eagles at Romano Field as the Maroons show blitz. And O'Donoghue gets the first down to the 31. Chris Ferrara in on the stop. To run against the Maroons, it's not an easy situation. As the Maroons so far, you talk about a nice little statistic, and statistics can be used in the proper place, but this is one that has to be brought out. Teams are averaging just little over 2 yards per carry against this defense. Flavin, forget it. Provost stopped him from up top. Dede helped him. And the Maroon defense on a quarterback sneak just stuffed it. As Flavin needed about a yard for the first down. And I do not know if he got it. As the Maroons just came flying in on Mike Flavin. As they will measure. First down, Quincy. Mike Flavin earned it. As Flavin ran into a group. Maroons just trying to run on the quarterback sneak. He was trying his best to get more. It's Bogan the lone back. And Weymouth North will be put for an offside as Flavin gets 7 on the run.
Oh, we have a flag on the play.
That's one of those plays that will go back
Flavin on the keeper.
in the comical highlight film as offsides Weymouth North, but it'd be interesting to see how Quincy decides on the play. But Matt Deedy went to set himself and just fell over. As Deedy just came stumbling into the play.
Offside, Weymouth.
And it'll be 1st and 5 for Quincy. 6:25 to go in the half.
5 to go.
20-0 Weymouth North. Despite all the mistakes they have made, they have still put 3 touchdowns on the board.
Flag.
And what else is new? A flag. Illegal motion, Quincy. It draws a sarcastic response from the Maroon faithful.
Good ball foul.
The last few penalties, yes, the Maroons have been guilty. But some of the ones here in the first half have been, well, not exactly you would call some of the best calls in the world.
So it's 1st down, 10 to go.
Flavin to Fay,
Pass goes in.
and Fay just could not get to it as it goes out of bounds.
2nd down.
Some minor problems being straightened out. Quincy tried 2 long pass plays by Mike Flavin, first to Mark Bogan on a deep over the middle pass that went incomplete, and in the long one to Chris Fay that also went incomplete. And the Presidents will have Steve McGinnis punt. As McGinnis rides out the kick. Stevenson gets the handle, gives to Mraz. Rich slips, goes down, and then gets buried at the 42. Rich Lallis in on the stop. And the first time Weymouth North has not began a possession in Quincy territory. So 2 plays that we did not bring you, and we apologize for it, were 2 pass plays by Mike Flavin that went incomplete. Henriksen straight ahead. And Lou gets it out to about the 44 as he followed Matt Deedy and center Bill Murphy.
Pops up the middle before. He's up the 2nd down.
Dave Johnson in on the tackle. And 4:55 to go and counting first half. Check it, Mraz almost getting through as Mraz gets it up to about the 49.
Donahue make a stop.
Ali Seelman and O'Donoghue. Steve O'Donoghue in on the stop as Mraz nearly got enough yardage for the first down. He's about 2 yards short. 3rd down. And Mraz keeps as he turns the corner. Rich into Quincy territory, and a first down to the 48. As Mraz on the sweep turned the corner and got 4 for the first down.
Ali Freeman made the tackle. 1st down.
Just under 4 minutes now to go in the first half. That has belonged to the Maroons. Option Strazzeri. Cuts back nicely, and he could be gone. Touchdown, Keith Strazzeri. And the Maroon sophomore running back showed his ability on that play. As on the toss pitch, he cut back nicely and took off. And darts to the end zone for his second touchdown of the season. And if you discount the penalties in this game, Weymouth North could have an even larger lead than what they have had. Stevenson maybe beginning a new streak in point-after kicks. Strazzeri's 49-yard touchdown along with Stevenson's extra point kick. And this one right now looks good for Weymouth North, 27-0. 4 plays and the touchdown for the Maroons. A 49-yard run by Keith Strazzeri. And the sophomore running back getting his name into the scoring column in this one as the Maroons, if you discount the penalties, this is about as fine a half as they have played, and they have played many fine halves. O'Donoghue looking to go outside and gets tripped up as O'Donoghue gets it out to about the 21-yard line.
O'Donoghue on the run back, tripped up by James Daly.
3:33 left in the first half, and the Presidents will have it at the 21-yard line. And you got to look back to the opening kickoff as setting the tempo for this game. Matt Deedy slowed down O'Donoghue, who got the opening kickoff at the 10, and he had help from a group of tacklers. And then after that, Quincy couldn't move. Weymouth North got the football, went in and scored. And that has been basically how this game has gone so far. Bogan on the toss pitch. Lou Henriksen just planted Mark Bogan at the line of scrimmage.
Bowman on the carry.
As the junior linebacker just put his shoulder pads in Bogan's stomach and planted him. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. And you look at the 2 linebackers who lead the Maroons in tackles, Provost and Henriksen. And they have been very active so far in this game, as has the entire defense. Flavin can't get away from Deedy and turning the corner as Flavin gets dropped by Deedy, along with Sean Small and Darren Gladstone. And the Maroon defense making life miserable for the Presidents right now. And with 2:26 and counting first half, reminder, Weymouth South Plymouth highlights at halftime, as well as second half action will be coming up. Flavin from the shotgun. Gets a good block as he tries to just air it out deep in, and Chris Walker went up for the football and couldn't hang on. David Layton had the coverage as Rich Miraz also came over there to help out, but David Layton and Rich Miraz break up the play. And 1:56 to go in the half, and it's been all Maroons. And it's been a season where you get to talk about the big half, and the Maroons have done that so well for the first now 7 weeks of the season. Stevenson will take the punt himself. And Timmy gets it to the 40-yard line as Timmy just put his head down and dove to the President 40. And he is not getting up that quickly. And that is something that the Maroons do not want to see happen. We'll take a break. 27-0 Weymouth North. Weymouth North get called for clipping on the punt return by Stevenson. His heat went off under his own power. An old-fashioned bell ringer for Timmy. As Danny Daly into the game. Daly gives to Miraz as Rich slices it up to the 49. And Joe Baker brings him down. Miraz for 5, second down and 5. And I believe Daly will run the Maroon attack for a little while. And probably the rest of this half at least. Just to let Stevenson clear the cobwebs. High pitch, Strazzeri gets a nice play. And Strazzeri almost made a sensational play. And a marker down. And I believe we'll bring it back. What else is new? Clipping, Weymouth North. And the cry from the stands of let them play. Can you imagine if on some of these flags, and granted, maybe some of these flags are not good calls, and granted, maybe they all are good calls for all we know, but the amount of yardage that Weymouth North has lost in this first half is absolutely incredible. 2nd and 18, and Stevenson gets back into the lineup. And promptly overshoots Danny Lindblom. 29 seconds to go in the first half, 3rd and 18 coming up for the Maroons. Stevenson trying to get the bearings back. But the amount of yardage lost on plays. A week ago, the Maroons had a lot of penalties in the second half, lost about 50, 60 yards in plays. It's almost a sensational catch by Danny Lindblom. Danny climbed the ladder and almost came up with the football. And the Maroons will punt for the first time in this game. But the amount of yardage in this game that they have lost due to penalties, if you ever totaled it, it would make even the average football fan turn white as far as the hair goes. And Stevenson hits a high kick. Gets a roll as Henriksen thought it hit a Quincy player. And it will be President ball with 10 seconds to go in the first half. As Stevenson and the Maroons will be finishing the first half with a good-sized lead. And at halftime, half the talk will probably be by the coaching staff of Weymouth North on the penalties. That will be the... And the other half will be the fact that, hey, you did a lot of things well, just get rid of the penalties. Bogan gets belted by Capello. And 1 second left. Quincy will take a timeout.
We're down to 1 second in the half.
And 1 second left in the halftime for one more play. And we'll see what the Presidents do run with that one last play here in the first half. That has belonged to the Maroons. Despite penalties, they have been able to come up with the plays. Three wide receivers near you. Bogan gets the toss pitch, he'll throw. And it's short. As Check Montori on the coverage of Chris Walker, but the first half belonged to Weymouth North. They totally owned it, despite the penalties. The Maroons, with a couple of Tim Stevenson touchdown passes, one by Rich Mraz, will go off with a 27-0 halftime lead. Second half action, as well as Weymouth South Plymouth highlights coming up for you here on Dimension 36. Stay tuned.
Weymouth South was determined to deliver Plymouth their first loss of the season. Right from the opening kickoff, the Wildcats issued a message that they were ready for this game. Alan Good with a very nice kickoff return, taking it out to his 38-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. And sophomore quarterback J.J. Chilla came out firing. Chilla hits Bobby Layton with this pass for 13 yards and a first down. But Chilla and the Wildcats would be victimized by a big mistake in the first quarter. Chilla on the bootleg, throws on the pressure, goes off Todd Cusick's hands. Steve Westberg with the interception for Plymouth. Later in the first quarter, the Blue Eagles march into the Wildcat end zone. A 4th and 1 situation at the Wildcat 31, and Joel Garrett gets more than enough for the first down. Very next play, quarterback Tom McDavitt, one of the best players in the Old Colony League, bootlegs around the right end. 26 yards in all for the touchdown. McDavitt adds the extra point kick, 7-0 Plymouth. As the Blue Eagle offense was playing extremely well, and the Blue Eagle defense, well, at times was being torn apart by Chilla and Layton. With this big pass play, the Wildcats were able to start what looked like was going to be a drive that would tie the score, as Chilla and Layton would combine, bringing the ball down to the Plymouth 20-yard line. But with the drive going into the second quarter, it would come to a crashing end. 4th and about 5. Chilla back to pass, nobody to throw to, and the sack by Mike Monkevitz and Mike Henderson stops the Wildcat drive. From here, Plymouth goes on a march of their own. The Blue Eagles will go 75 yards behind the passing of Tom McDavitt and the running of Joel Garrett and Tim Cherry. As McDavitt with this pass to Wayne Christiani for a big play in the drive, and this pass to Adam Dean for the touchdown that would give Plymouth a 13-0 lead at halftime. As Coach Bart Weber just looked on, he was hoping that his Wildcats could turn things around. But in the third quarter, it became Joel Garrett time, as Joel Garrett, after this play from McDavitt to Adam Dean, would take over the third quarter by himself. Garrett just banging his way, and then showing some great speed and going 47 yards for the touchdown, which would put Plymouth up 19-0 at this point. Garrett wasn't done in the third quarter by no means. This beautiful run to the Wildcat 2 would set up his second touchdown of the quarter, as Garrett easily scores 26-0 after this Garrett touchdown run to McDavitt extra point. Scott Coolidge would later add a fourth quarter touchdown run for Plymouth, as Weymouth South on this day would desperately try to get on the scoreboard and make the Blue Eagles, well, give them that much more respect that Weymouth South deserved on this day, because the Wildcats really played a very fine football game, but never ever could finish off the drives, as they would have the big plays like this J.J. Chilla run, but it was not going to be on this day for the Wildcats in falling to Plymouth. Final score.
And that's where the Maroons will start the second half. As the Maroons in total command. Stevenson hands off and breaking through it, Chuck Montorio. Montorio gets it out to about the 41-yard line.
Jim Monroe made the tackle.
the President's defense, which took a lot of time on the field. Mark Bogan in on the stop of Montorio. 7 for Chuck on the play, 2nd and 3. Henriksen be close to first down yardage. As Lou goes straight ahead and does get the first down.
On the carry.
Weymouth North, 3 big plays for touchdowns in this game so far. And including in those 3 big plays, a 4th and 29 that they turned into a touchdown.
Montorio on the
As
carry.
Montorio bottled up at the line of scrimmage
Brought down by Tony Madden.
as Tony Madden makes the
That's winner
tackle.
on the 50-50 drawing for tonight. Everybody take a look at your tickets. The number is 203.
The Maroons will not go to the air much
978.
in the second half, leading 27 to nothing.
978. Person holding that ticket, come up to the announcer's booth and we'll pay you your money.
As primarily they'll just want to get themselves ready for next week. Strazzeri gets the corner and in the Quincy territory where he is brought down by Jim Monroe. But the sophomore got 9 yards on the play. 3rd down and 2 for a first down. As Strazzeri has had a touchdown call back, but has also had a great touchdown run that brought this crowd to their feet. 49 yards. As he'll get some time, as will some of the other backs, as Mraz cuts back nicely. Goodbye. Touchdown, Rich Mraz.
From Mr. Mirage.
As Mraz went to turn the corner, and he just found clear sailing on the cutback. And it was goodbye, Rich Mraz, and the Maroons increased the lead to 33 to nothing as Tim Stevenson will look to add the 34th point. Stevenson nails it. 7:30 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Maroons come out to begin the second half and increase the lead to 34-0. And the Maroon onslaught continues as Rich Mraz scoring and Danny Daly kicking off, and he delivers a good kick. O'Donoghue getting down the sidelines, and he gets it out to the 49.
The run back.
Good run back
Small.
by O'Donoghue, and he's had a lot of opportunities to do that in this game. As Sean Small
30 yards on the run back.
in on the stop.
Will take over 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line.
And the Maroons right now, the story of this one will be how well they will come out the second half, play defense, and try to slow Quincy down. Bogan, who's been quiet, is kept that way by Jason Capello and Alex Provost, along with Darren Gladstone. A statistic that you point out, and taking turnovers, turning them into points, and the Maroons are able to do that quite well. 11 times this year they have taken turnovers, turned them into points, but tonight they haven't really needed that formula. They have gone to the big play and have been successful. As Flavin just gets rid of it from the pressure. As he tried to hit Chris Walker, Rich Mraz on the coverage. But he overthrew both Mraz and Walker. And it will be 3rd down and 10 for the Presidents.
Pass was incomplete to Chris Walker. Brings up a third down. Ball on the 49-yard line.
From the shotgun on third down, Flavin getting the low snap. Gets away from Ted Keefe and intercepted Mraz. And he has got a convoy. One man to beat it, he does. Flag down, and Mraz's touchdown will be negated, however.
75-yard return.
75 yards on the return, and what else is new in this game? And the Maroon fans don't believe it, and let their voices be known.
It looks like we have an illegal block penalty called against Weymouth North.
An illegal block could be the call, and Coach Joe Kelly has it explained to him, and looks up and says, "You got to be kidding." Mraz's dazzling return, wiped out. Blocking below on Weymouth North. They will have the football.
Illegal block below the waist.
And the illegal block below the waist.
5-yard touchdown.
Second touchdown the Maroons have had negated.
Weymouth retains possession of the ball, and it'll be 1st and 10.
The other time when they had the touchdown negated on the Strazzeri touchdown run, the Maroons came right back, and they scored on that 4th down play. And 29 to go as the Maroons changing up personnel. And they don't have everybody in there, so they will take a timeout. 6:14 left. Danny Daly gets to orchestrate the attack for the rest of this game. Danny Daly gets his opportunity once again to orchestrate the Maroon attack. Darren Gladstone. Gladstone turning the corner and gets grabbed out of bounds, and a marker down. As Chris Fay grabbed Gladstone,
on the carry.
and Weymouth North again with a penalty, clipping. And what seems to be the choice tonight.
Clipping called against Weymouth North.
In talking to a couple of officials about a few weeks ago, I made the comment, and one of them picked up on Dimension Cable that why all the flags on a team that's leading by a lot, and one of the officials put it to me. He says, look, he's trying to keep it close. But then there comes a time and just let the teams play. It's as simple as that. Strazzeri cuts back nicely, and Keith almost breaking it.
Strazzeri.
And another flag down as Reardon in on the stop. And let's see who the flag is on this time. It was in the Maroon backfield after the play was over. On Quincy, I believe. Unsportsmanlike conduct, the President's.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So Weymouth North gets 15 free yards on top of the Strazzeri run.
Ball on the 45-yard line now.
As it has become a penalty-marred game. Straight ahead, Strazzeri to the 39-yard line. Dave Johnson brings him down.
Monroe made the tackle. Pick up a 5.
As Strazzeri, Gladstone, Canino, maybe some of the backs will be naming for a lot of what is remaining in the game. Gladstone almost breaking it. Darren looks up and says, oh, if I didn't slip, I was gone. The quick hitter and Darren Gladstone just exploded into the hole. And he's just a sophomore, as is Straseri, as is Kanina.
28-yard line of Quincy.
And the Maroons just having fun. Straseri.
On the carry.
Keith showing why he is going to be a fine running back. Coming into the game averaging 7 yards per carry, and Straseri.
Grossman made the tackle, first down.
And the Maroons just running and running at will.
Ball now on the 15-yard line.
Darren Gladstone gets a good block, turning the corner, and gets it inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Darren followed the block of Jason Capello and almost broke it. And a fast-moving third quarter because the Maroons are running the football.
Gain of 8 on the play.
Straseri, not the success he has had in previous runs,
Flag on the play.
as a marker down. And what else is new? Mike Tempestra and Bill Reardon in on the stop. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Quincy. And the President's becoming a very frustrated football team.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Quincy.
Because unfortunately, this game, in the early going, it was all Weymouth North penalties, and right now the Presidents are just becoming a frustrated group of players.
And it is first down.
Down 34-0, and they just don't know what to do because Weymouth North is just doing everything so well. Darren Gladstone slips, spins, scores! Darren Gladstone with his first touchdown of the season, as Darren just followed the blocking and just rolled into the end zone, and the Maroons are just putting even more distance between themselves and the Presidents. And a flag down. Unsportsmanlike penalty, Quincy. And I believe it will be tacked on the kickoff. So the kickoff will be for the Maroons at the President 45.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty call against Quincy will be assessed at the kickoff.
And the Maroons lining up at 2. That's because there is no kicker after Tim Stevenson. Capello gets the 2. And even the second string players are having quite a night for themselves as well. 42-0, Maroons. A 70-yard drive by the Maroons. Darren Gladstone's first varsity touchdown. Caps off the drive. And the Maroons, because of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, kick from the 45 as Danny Daly counts heads. And one more needed. 3:38 to go, third period. As Brian Quinlan makes his way onto the field. And Daly pull cues it for the touchback. And when it automatically goes in the end zone in high school and college, it is a touchback. So 3:38 to go in the game in the third quarter. Issue not really in doubt. It's just some statistics that will be gone after by both these teams. Quincy will try to get some positive statistics for themselves and getting ready for their next game. For the Maroons, they will just get themselves ready for Hingham. Flavin for Walker, and Walker can't hang on to it.
That goes incomplete to Chris Walker.
And some faces, first line faces, second team faces mixed in. Slowly but surely it will be all second team players for the Maroons. Second and 10. Bogan on the pitch. Bogan fumbles out of bounds.
Bogan on the
Lou Henriksen disrupted the play. And then Bogan was bumped out of bounds by Sean Small
by David Layton.
and David Layton.
And Sean Small.
As Layton was the first tackler, Sean Small then helped out.
Bounds. It'll be third
And
down
Bogan
and
lost a
11.
yard on the play, 3rd and 11.
From the 19-yard line.
And the Maroons get ready for Hingham. We will be with Weymouth South and Silver Lake next week. Highlights of the Weymouth North Hingham game. As Flavin under pressure. Flavin has an intercepted touchdown. Danny Daly.
Daly on the interception.
Flavin was under extreme pressure, just flipped it in the air, and Danny Daly picked it off and gets the touchdown. And the Maroons just keep on increasing the lead. As you talk about big halves all year for this team, and they have had marvelous halves. And right now, they are looking to add even more. As Daly fumbles the snap, loose football.
No good.
And Danny Daly, and the Maroons don't get the conversion, but Daly on the interception return puts the lead to 48-0. Danny Daly's interception return increases the Maroon lead. As Daly picked off the pass by Mike Flavin and just strolled into the end zone because of the pressure Weymouth North put on, and it is easy for the Maroons. And Weymouth North will be kicking again. Bill Cantel just couldn't get his hands on the football as it just went by him out of bounds. But now for the Maroons, go back over the season so far. First half of the Braintree game, 43 points in that opening half. Second half of the Taunton game, Weymouth North scored 30 second half points. Week number 4, Silver Lake, 28 first half points. Last week against Don Bosco, 27 first half points. The beat goes on for this football team, which is just rolling through teams. As Chris Walker
On
gets
the carry.
knocked down at about the 39 by Strazzeri. And Keith having a pretty good game for himself on special teams, as well as running the football. As the Maroons, sideline probably one of the most relaxed places. Quincy sideline's got to be wondering what has happened. 3:09 to go here in the third period. And now, timeout Weymouth North. Apparently not the right people on the field. Frustrating night for the Presidents. And the Maroons have just made life miserable for Quincy. A lot of cheering if you're Weymouth North. As right now, they have owned this football game. As the Presidents run the option with Mark Bogan getting blasted out of bounds at about midfield.
Run out of bounds by Marino.
As Quincy
First down.
changing up with a new quarterback.
First down, the ball on the 49-yard line. We have 3 minutes left in the third period.
David Jolly is the new quarterback for Coach Jack Raymer's football team. Gain of 2. On the dive play goes Stevie O'Donoghue as Brian Quinlan in on the tackle.
Picked up 3, 2nd and 7.
2:40 to go, third period. It was a moving third period. And just hit a dry spot and just, well, all of a sudden we got a game. As Bogan turning the corner, Bogan gets submarine and dropped by 37, Mike Nicastro. As he and Eric Dutcher were out there to try to stop Bogan.
Mike DeCastro made the tackle.
And the Maroons.
Third down, about a yard to go.
Second line defensive players are in there as they will be in for the rest of the game. People like 72 linebacker Jake Bronchuk, Mike Nicastro, Eric Dutcher. Third and a yard for the Presidents. And a first down run for Dave Chevry.
Chevry on the carry, picks up the
As
first
Chevry
down.
gets it to the 32-yard line.
Ball is on the Weymouth 23-yard line.
Jolly, good play as he was forced by 63, Mike Gaynor, to get rid of the football quickly.
On the tackle,
And
goes for a loss. It'll be 2nd and 11.
the play that Gaynor sparked forces a loss of 1, and 2nd and 11. As Mike Gaynor, the right defensive end, just stormed in there and made the play on Jolly, who will throw. Complete to Bogan. Bogan immediately dropped
On the reception. Brought down by
as Nick Marino made the tackle on Mark Bogan on what will be the final play of the third period.
3rd and 5.
A third period that has belonged completely to Weymouth North. They will take home their 6th victory of the season and do it in convincing fashion.
The Company Theater opens its holiday season with A Christmas Carol, live on stage against a background of music and dance in Dickens' London. 337-1423.
Final 10 minutes coming up here at Legion Field. A long football game, to say the least, because of a lot of penalties. And a great deal of scoring by the Maroons. 48-0. They just own this football game. Mark Bogan trying to push some people ahead and get some good blocking, and Bogan gets tripped up by Mike Gaynor.
Come in, lady.
And Bogan does get first down yardage. A year from now, Quincy's to be in the old Colony League. Whether it be the old Colony League as we know it now, or the old Colony League that has been proposed. And Weymouth North giving Quincy their last year as a Suburban League member a rude thrashing here at Legion Field is Jolly. Flipping it out. Caught. Touchdown. Chris Fay. Jolly just fired it just over
the touchdown.
the intent for Fay.
4-yard pass for the
As
touchdown to Chris Fay.
Eric Dutcher was trying to cover Fay, and Dutcher had the ball just go over him, and Fay for the touchdown with 9:16 left. Quincy gets themselves on the board. And the Presidents will go for the 2. On the keeper, Jolly gets tackled back at the 5. And a marker down.
And then Kania made the tackle.
Canina on the tackle,
And we
but
have a
the
flag
penalty
on
on
the
Quincy.
Looks
Maroons
like illegal procedure on the part
will
of
decline
Quincy.
it. The issue, that's not a question right now. It's just going to be the final numbers. All Weymouth North, 48-6. 8-play drive for the Presidents as you hear the Quincy fight song being played. And some solace for the Presidents. As Dutcher gets it out to about the 40. And McGinnis in on the tackle. And the Maroons right now just will try to run out the final 9:08, take home the victory, as Danny Daly, who has scored a touchdown and has driven the Maroons downfield. And Daly takes himself straight ahead to about the 43.
On the broken play.
As Danny gets 4, second down and 6.
Ellie Slyman made the tackle.
And the Maroons will be using more and more people now as this game evolves. And Darren Gladstone. Gladstone goes down. According to the officials, he put his knee down as Darren loses a couple on the play. It'll be third down and about 8. It's been a habit so far in Weymouth North games, as far as football goes. Let's talk about a lot of the younger players in there. As Mike Canina crosses the 45 to about the 46-yard line, goes Canina. And John Downing in on the stop of Mike Canina.
Brings up a 4th down.
And the Maroons only able to eliminate on this possession about 2 minutes. As they will go for it. Gladstone. First down and more. To the President, 39, and a marker down. As Darren just cut through the hole nicely and gets the first down. Personal foul and a piling on penalty on Quincy. If you wonder why the Maroons are not punting, the backup punter David Layton in the opener, if you were with us, did not have that nice a game, and he's also the starting cornerback, so realistically there's no one left to punt. Kanina gets stood up and knocked down at the 25.
No gain on the play.
As Weymouth North shuffling in the backs. It's Mike Nicastro in there. As on the die play, getting a couple of yards will be Danny Sullivan.
On the carry, brought down by
As Sullivan works his way to the 20. Third down and 6. As we head to 6 minutes to go. Issue not in doubt. Just spinal statistics, basically. Kanina. The sophomore crosses the 20 to about the 17.
Canning on the carry.
Where he is brought down by David Chevry. And 4th and 2. The Maroons going for it at the President. 16. There's just grind out type of situation. The Maroons would love to kill the final. 5:29. Kanina will not get the first down. Quincy stops him.
Chevry made the stop.
As Graham Chevry in on the stop. And the Presidents stop the Maroons.
A first down for Quincy going the other way.
And Presidents. 5:22 left. We'll try to get some more offense as far as momentum for next week. They still have a few starters in there. It's Mark Bogan still in the lineup. As you look at the Maroon defense, which has had a very good night for themselves. Quincy did go on that one drive for the touchdown. Bogan.
Bogan on the carry.
For about 2 or 3. Jake Bronchuk and Mike Gaynor in on the tackle. As Bogan gets it out to the 21, 2nd and 6.
Because I'm injured.
.455 and counting left. Option Jolly off to Bogan. And Bogan is not going anywhere because Nick Marino rolled up from the cornerback position and brought down Bogan. He played that very well. Did Nick Marino.
Brings up a third down.
As Bogan loses a yard on the play. 3rd down and 7. Surprisingly, Coach Jack Raymer has kept Mark Bogan in the game. Trailing by a great deal with 4 minutes and change to go. Maroons will head to 6-1. Quincy goes to 2-5. It's Jolly, swing, Bogan, can't hang on. It's an incomplete pass. Mike Turney fell on the football. And 3:51 left. Presidents will be punting. And the Maroons will be looking to kill that final 3:51. As a line drive kick. Skipping by Eric Dutcher, and he reverses field. Dutcher gets it to the midfield stripe and is brought down there.
Dutcher on the carry.
Dutcher just had it skip by him and then was able to come back and get the football. Mark Bogan, Chris Fay, and Rich Lallis in on the tackle.
And Weymouth will take over.
And the Maroons will try to kill the final 3:35 as they've been a tune that is quite appropriate. They've been rocking around the clock in this one, finding different ways to score. Kanina. Mike, not an overly impressive runner. I mean, if you look at the way he does things, I mean, the way, say, compared to a Straseri or a Gladstone, Kanina just does it. He just gets the yardage, just goes straight ahead, shows some good footwork, and does it. He's just the type of back that you look up every time, and by the time he's a senior, he's just going to get like 10, 15 yards. He's not going to be breaking them away. Then again, Mike Kanina does have the ability to get through the hole very quickly and look like he's going to go the distance. As Kanina
made the carry on that play.
to the 16. Every one of the backs for the Maroons are just running well. And the pile just moves on down towards the Quincy end zone. As Danny Sullivan with his carry. 2:25 and counting. And the Maroons just pushing it and pushing it with the running game. Then it's just handoff left, handoff right, and the Maroon backs just know what to do with the football. And the Maroons are about to be hit with a delay of game if Danny Daly doesn't hurry. 2 minutes to go. Daly fumbled the snap.
Daly on the keeper.
And it'll be third down for Weymouth North. Next week, Weymouth South, Silver Lake here from Legion Field, SAT weekend. Highlights of the Maroons and Hingham. As the Maroons are hoping that getting back in the league play, they can have a little bit of fun, like they are having tonight. Daly, keeper.
Daly on the keeper.
Fourth down for Weymouth North. Straight ahead and down to the 1. Goes Mike Nicastro as Nicastro almost brought it in. It'll be first and goal for the Maroons, who only have to run one more play. Because the ball was marked at 33 seconds left. You're seeing the scoring on your screen. Weymouth North just rolling to the victory, and I don't know if they'll come out of the huddle. They'll take the delay. was a situation if they wanted to pile it on, they could. And the officials aren't going to cause a delay. Weymouth North could have added more to what they did. They own this game, lock, stock, and barrel. They made sure that this was going to be their night. Big plays, good defense, and you get the reason why as coaches Jack Raymer and Joe Kelly shake hands. This is all over, but the shouting as far as there is anything of this being close. The Maroons just controlled the game from start to finish. Big plays and defense do it for the Maroons. Impressively, 48-6. Weymouth South, Silver Lake next week here on Dimension 36. Highlights of Weymouth North Hingham. 2 weeks from now, it'll be the Maroons in Marshfield back here at Legion Field, and highlights of Bridgewater, Raynham, Weymouth South. And then the football concludes with Thanksgiving Day here from Legion Field. But it's South and Silver Lake next week. As tonight, the Maroons own this one, 48-6. Good night from Legion Field.